My partner is monogamous, but I'm not. Here's how we make our relationship work. What? Wait. What? How can you be monogamous, but your partner. Wait, how can your partner be monogamous, but you're not monogamous? I don't understand. What? So this is very interesting. So this is a new age doublespeak mumbo jumbo. If I had to guess what this title means, because I haven't read the story, I would have to guess that now we've taken to describing the people in the relationship instead of the relationship itself to try and put a positive spin or try to construct some kind of scenario where a relationship works. So instead of talking about the relationship itself, we're just going to talk about the individuals. So one of them isn't cheating and one is, I would guess. Lovely. And of course it's the man, because it's almost always the man that wants to stay faithful. He's not interested in stepping out. Meanwhile, she wants to shows her wild ootses and bang as many dudes as humanly possible, because, you know, women are the real degen scumbags of modern dating and relationships. But anyway, before I get into this story, I'd like to ask those of you out there who like and appreciate the raw red pill nature of my content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Bachelor Philosopher. Give me a like. Hit the notification bell so you are notified of new content. Leave a comment, because it's good for the algorithm. And I almost always answer comments because I get so few. And if you'd like to support my continued content creation, you'll find various ways you can do so in the description. Anyway, let's jump into this degen BS. So, Fernando Fabian, 30, is non-monogamous. Oh, Fernanda. Okay. I guess Fernando would be a dude. Fernanda is a woman. She's non-monogamous, and her partner of 6 years is monogamous. So the dude's a simp. So he's a massive simp beta male. This is what the powers that be want. Great. No real connection, no real investment, no real leadership from the man. The woman is essentially in charge. Of course, because the women are very easily led around by their noses, i.e. their emotions. They're very easily propagandized. They are very easily controlled via the powers that be through lies, through manipulation of said emotions. Great. They figured out how to make their relationship work. How so? I mean, is it even really a relationship if they're not monogamous? How is it a relationship exactly? I mean, I guess technically it is just, but is it? Good Lord. This, as told to essay, is based on a conversation with Fernanda Fabian, the host of Polycurious Podcast. Never heard of it, but I'm not surprised. It has been edited for length and clarity. So this person has a podcast, because of course she does. And she uses her degenerate non-relationship to give advice to others about how to make non-relationships work. Yeah, well, you know. Sure. I mean, fake relationships that aren't actually relationships, that require no investment and no loyalty. Yeah, I bet that's pretty easy to make that work. Absolutely. Anyway, let's see what we got here. So my partner of 6 years is monogamous. So he's loyal to you because he's a fool. While I'm non-monogamous, so I'm not loyal to him. So he has to be loyal to me. He has to essentially not step out on me. But I'm not allowed to step out on him. So he commits to the relationship. He invests, and I put nothing into it. I can see how that would be very easy to maintain, at least for you. And if you have no self-respect or esteem for self, I guess it would be easy as a man, but you're not really a man, are you now, if you, buy into this crap. I've learned that both people don't have to be monogamous or non-monogamous to make a relationship work. Yeah. Keep gaslighting yourself, honey. Yeah, it's very, very easy to invest in something when you don't actually have to invest or put in any work. I met my partner Seth at Burning Man in 2018. What is that? What is Burning Man? It's like some kind of concert or something, but it's held annually. I don't know. I'm not into the music scene. We were in the same camp of about 120 people. Is this like a wannabe Woodstock thing? Is it held yearly or like every 4 years or something? And people go and they camp and they have orgies and are banging each other in tents. You were in a camp of 120 people. How does that work? Like this was a pre-organized, set-up camp? Do you like buy tickets for specific camps that you're going to stay in? I don't know. This all sounds like degen nonsense to me. I can't make sense of it. One night we were at our campground after dinner. How does that work? You're camping out in tents. Where's the dinner coming from? Where's the food coming from? Is that all provided in this degen extravaganza? There was music playing, and we both found ourselves walking to the middle of the dance floor. There's a dance floor in a camp? Okay. To introduce ourselves. We talked for 15 minutes. I guess that's all you need these days to have a bang session. Talk for 15 minutes and then decided to hang out that night. Hang out means bang, I think. Yeah. When I was a kid, hang out just meant, hanging out. We had a very instant connection. Yeah, okay. So lust, not love, right. I remember after we hung out, his friend asked him, okay, so this is the woman's point of view. She's telling this story. Why didn't you tell me about your girlfriend? Oh, because I just met her 15 minutes ago. As cliche as it sounds, it felt like we'd known each other for a long time. Yeah, did it though? Or are these kind of superficial dalliances all you've really known, so you have no actual point of comparison and you don't really know what a real relationship or connection would be like? I brought up non-monogamy early on. Yeah, it's always the woman, isn't it? This reminds me of that Destiny freak, that Destiny goofball with his spindly dad bod and his Swedish wife that eventually left him for an even bigger, pathetic beta male that just happened to be better looking. Well, actually, I don't know. Is there a more pathetic beta cuckboy than Destiny? I guess not, which is why she dumped him. And she wanted the poly relationship as well, because that's all she had known. And, God forbid you be loyal and have a sense of duty to your partner who's paying all your bills and giving you money just because you have a poon. Yeah. The second night after we met at Burning Man, I told Seth I was non-monogamous. That would be a deal breaker for me. Bye. And by the way, if he had had some balls and said, well, I'm not up for that, so if you want to be with me, there's no non-monogamy going to be going on. Of course, if he had half a brain, he'd have just said bye, because you don't get with a broad that has that kind of past, because her past is going to be your future if you get with her, because people don't change. I told him that I had friends who were non-monogamous as well. Of course you did, because your friends are going to be like you. And that I was curious about having an open relationship. You want to have your cake and eat it too, essentially. Yeah. He said that he could be open to an open relationship. Wow. Yeah. When he said that, I thought he was saying he would also be open on his side. Yeah. I wonder if she'd have been open to that. Probably not. But he meant that he was open to figuring out how he could support me in doing what I want. Okay, guys, that's not supporting a woman. That's emasculating yourself and detracting from your own well-being, and essentially being a big giant poo, such, E. You're being a big giant simp, you do that. Even if it's not his thing. Okay, so automatically you have the wrong values. You value not having to commit and invest in a relationship, and he values committing and investing. And he's such a pathetic loser who cares so little about himself and his own well-being that he's willing to invest his half and your half as well. Lovely. You also have different virtues. You do not have the virtue of loyalty, and he does. Why are you together? This guy clearly has a scarcity mindset. After Burning Man, He headed home to San Fran. I see. Now I'm starting to see where he sees this as normal and okay. He's from DGen San Francisco. Well, I headed home to New York. That says it all. But we stayed in touch. 2 weeks later, he came to visit me in New York. Oh, what a simp. And then 2 weeks after that, I went to visit him in San Fran. We did long distance for 9 months. Wow, really? Interesting. Long distance relationships rarely work out. I'd like to revisit these two in 10 years and see if they're still together. I would bet you they won't be. After about a month into our long distance relationship, he asked me if I wanted to be his girlfriend. What a loser. I thought it was cute that he asked and said, yes. Of course. He's so pathetic and simpy. Yeah, he's letting you step out on him. And he's going to pay the bills. I love this. So, of course you said yes. This dude is willing to subsidize your degeneracy. Why wouldn't you say yes? I realized that for him, being his girlfriend meant being exclusive. So I asked him, does that mean I can't have S with other people? He said, yep, that's what it means. Really? So he put his foot down. But of course he's so pathetic and weak that he eventually vacillated and gave in. We discussed it further and he said that he was not ready for me to date other people yet. Why would you be ready for that ever? How is it a relationship, by the way, if you are dating other people? I don't... About 6 months into the relationship, he said it was okay for me to have S with other people. Yeah, because you'd probably spent this whole 6 months browbeating him and dropping hints and letting him know how unhappy you were and probably not having S with him if he didn't give you what you wanted. Yeah. But only with people I'd already had S with before I met him. Okay, that's a very weird... okay. Only with people that... so I could only be with people I'd already been with. By the way, I don't know how that's in any way limiting. I mean, this chick is obviously very loose, so she could have been with hundreds of dudes. You don't know. I don't know why that would be some kind of limiting factor. Seems like a very arbitrary qualifier, but anyway. And they had to be people that already had a partner. Why? I mean, you're thinking that because they're committed to somebody else, that they'll be less likely to leave their significant other if they catch feelings for one another, or that they'll somehow be less likely to catch feelings if they're already in a relationship that they're invested in, but they're not invested because they're stepping out. So why would you think that's somehow protection, and that would stop your non-girlfriend, because she's not your girlfriend if she's stepping out on you and sleeping with other dudes? Why would you think that would stop her from getting with another dude? And why would you think that other dude, because he has a non-significant other, why would you think that would stop him from leaving that non-significant other to get with her? See, this is a fundamental flaw in this kind of thinking. You're assuming that there's some kind of tie that binds, but there's not, because there's no real investment. She's only with you because you're stupid enough to pay the bills, pay the rent, and support her. If you stopped doing all that, she would leave your ass immediately. So why would you think that if someone else comes along that she catches actual feelings for, and she would be willing to commit to, why would you think she wouldn't leave you? There's no tie binding you two together. She's not invested. She has no loyalty to you. It's flawed thinking. So, yeah, and only when he was away, since we were long distance. A little over a year into the relationship, we got to my ideal stage. Yeah, your ideal stage, right? Yeah. Meaning the peak degeneracy. Or is it peak degeneracy, though? It can get worse. Me being able to date whomever I wanted more regularly. Wow. For my dates, we started off with once a month, and once every couple weeks. Now I have freedom. You think this is freedom? I don't think this is freedom. I think this is slavery. I think you're enslaved to your appetites, to your emotions, to pleasure. I think this is just like being a drug addict. This would be like a drug addict saying to me, I'm able to get high whenever I want. I have an unlimited amount of heroin. I'm free. That's not freedom. You're a slave to the drug. But we still have a conversation if needed. Yeah, it's pathetic. The first time I went on a date with someone else, I could tell Seth was jealous, and yet you didn't care, right? Of course not, because he's not the guy that you're ultimately wanting to... get with. You're just settling, right? Until you meet the Chatter Tyrone, who you would be willing to commit to if he demanded it. And having a hard time, I would come home wanting to connect with him, i.e. you banged the other dude and you're still horny, so you want to bang him as well and give him the sloppy seconds, and he wasn't too into that. Either because being with someone also served as a reminder how great Seth is, yeah. Or I would have a very fun experience, sexually or otherwise, with my date and want to replicate that experience with him. Ugh. So some guy finishes in your mouth, or finishes in you, and he gets to mop up after. Wow. Yeah, that's ideal. But Seth found it strange. Imagine that. Yeah, I just got to get him used to this degeneracy, yo. I just got to get him used to it. That's all, and then he'll be okay. That I want to connect with him after date and would act a little distant at first. Yeah. He'll eventually get acclimated. Oh, yeah. Like the beta boy he is. When we talked about it, he shared that it took him more time to shake off the feeling that I just come back from a date with someone else. Yeah. He should have listened to those feelings. He should have listened to that initial disgust and ran away. But unfortunately, he has too little self-esteem and self-respect and too little concern for his own well-being. And that's unfortunate. Yeah. We have a partial don't ask, don't tell system. I don't know if that's better or worse, because your imagination can fill in a lot of gaps, and sometimes it'll fill in those gaps with something worse than what you actually did. But anyway, when it comes to my dates, while he knows I went on a date, I don't share details about the date, and occasionally I'll pretend like it didn't happen. Yeah, because that works great. However, if he knows the person I'm dating, he's always been open to allowing them over for an event. Wow, I didn't think this guy could get any more pathetic. Or even attending an event where he knows they'll be there. I may not share much about my dates, but it's nice that he's open to meeting the people I date. Oh, God. So that's just a euphemism, right? The guys you date, i.e. bang. You bang. They're jizzing in you. They're finishing in you. In one of your many holes, I'm sure you utilize them all, of course. Yeah, that's disgusting. Jeez. Seth isn't interested in a romantic or S connection with anyone else. Yeah, I bet you'd have a problem if he was, by the way. And hasn't been for the past 6 years of our relationship. What a loser. By the way, he's always okay with it. Things are great. You don't know what great is, honey. You've never had a real, meaningful, close, monogamous relationship with anyone, so you don't have a clue how good it could be. You have no point of comparison. Just like if you didn't sleep around so much, you were actually a virgin, and you got with this guy, and you were loyal to him, you wouldn't have like this giant roster of hundreds of dudes, probably hundreds of dudes that you've been with before, to compare your current squeeze with, and say, oh, well, this isn't that good, it isn't that great, because I've had it better. No, it'd be the best S you ever had, because you wouldn't have a point of comparison, right? But now you've ruined yourself, you're damaged goods, you've been alpha widowed how many times now, so you can't pair a bond. And you don't want to, right? So you don't have a clue how good it could actually be. You think this is good, but it's not good. It's just all you know. But he has the option to do so if he ever wants to. Yeah, you say that, but you know he doesn't want to, right? That's easy to say. Oh, you're so magnanimous. While I feel recharged by being with other people, Seth is an introvert. Well, good. He pays the bills, right? I guarantee you this guy's paying most of the bills. Yeah. Loser. Who feels recharged by being on his own. Oh, that's just cope. You're just gaslighting yourself, sweetheart. I think his introversion is why he's okay with our dynamic. No, he's okay with your dynamic because he was a pathetic simp loser with no self-respect. When I come back from spending time with others, we both feel recharged and ready to connect. That's just cope. Just pure cope. I decided to share our dynamic with my mom's side of the family. Oh, my God. And they're okay with it? I guess that's why she's okay with it. Like mommy, like daughter. I'll tell my mom about a date I went on. You mean a porking experience? And she'll say, don't let Seth hear you. I just tell her, Mom, it's okay. By the way, why would you be telling your parents about this? And why would your parents be okay with this unless they're the same kind of people? And if she's saying, don't let Seth hear you, then she somehow knows somewhere deep down, if not so deep down, that this is wrong, that this is not okay. And yet she's not telling you that it's wrong and not okay. Seth knows. My mom really likes Seth. She apparently doesn't like him that much, otherwise she would have more regard for his well-being. But I guess you can't have more regard for someone's well-being than they do themselves, right? Seth and doesn't want me to harm our relationship by seeing other people. But that's just it. You don't have a relationship. See, this is the thing. A relationship is a very specific thing. This is not a relationship. This is just a situationship. Relationships have deep personal meaning to each individual, and they involve very specific qualifiers. One of those is duty, loyalty on the part of both individuals. If you don't have that, then it's not a relationship. I didn't tell my dad about the details of our connection until more recently. Is Dad a simp, pathetic loser too? He'd have to be if he's okay with this. Not out of fear of judgment. Oh, he's a simp. But because S and relationships are not topics I'd ever previously spoken with him. So now we know why she is the way she is in her regard for men. Her father is a pathetic simp beta male as well. Mommy just got with him probably because the CC dried up and the attention and validation dried up, and she wrote it for too long, and then she decided to settle. Lovely. Even though I'm non-monogamous, there are temporary periods, usually of about 4 months, where I am monogamous, i.e. I've had too much sausage, and now I'm tired, and I need a little bit of a break. I see. Being non-monogamous adds to our life. It adds to your life, you mean. Yeah, my life. Adds to my life the ability to feel attraction and connection to a person and pursue it. Right. She's telling, this is a self-report. She's not really attracted to Seth. Not really. He's just a safe cushion. But attraction and connection with others doesn't always happen. And sometimes I want to focus my energy on things other than dating. Meaning you want to focus your energy on things other than the real attraction of butterflies. Yeah. So occasionally, so what she's talking about is she gets emotionally exhausted. She's doing too much porking. And the butterflies, there's just too many. It's too much. It's so intense. And I have indulged in too much passion. And I need a break. So she eventually goes on these long drug binges where she needs a bit of a break. I need a bit of a break. All the highs are wearing me out. It's too much. And she lives for that, don't you know? I wonder what you're going to live for, honey, when you hit 35, 40. But of course, you know, the unfortunate truth is that chicks are able to ride the CC now into their 60s. And they're able to hide from the disturbing realities, consequences of their actions, especially if, like this woman, they've never had a real connection, a real relationship, and known what a true bond with another person is like. So they don't have a point of comparison, and hence there's nothing to regret. But is that true? Is there a point where women like this actually start to figure out, to have regrets, to realize that they have missed out on something? I don't know. Yeah, anyway, she says, although I wouldn't want to close our relationship forever. I bet you wouldn't. This Seth is some boring dude. I gotta have somewhere to spice it up. For whatever reason, we decided that non-monogamy was no longer right. And if we decided that was no longer right, there's always an option for us to have a conversation if we had to close it for some time. You mean you would close it because he's already closed it. He's not stepping out on you. So there you go. 6 years. You think this is going to last long term? It might. If it did, so what? It's a situationship. So even if they were together for 30 freaking years, this isn't a real relationship. Real relationships don't work in this manner because they're not real relationships to begin with. See, this is the problem with this social constructivist, postmodernist BS. These type of people always want to relabel and reclassify everything and try to replace what is with what they would like it to be, all the while not understanding that what you're trying to replace it with isn't the same thing. You're trying to reclassify and redefine something that can't be reclassified and redefined. A relationship fits some very strict criteria, and only by adhering to those criteria will you get the maximal benefits from that relationship, from that thing that is being defined. If you try to change what qualifies as a relationship, you're changing what is a relationship. It's not a relationship. There are very clear-cut things that work and don't work. What a relationship is and what a relationship isn't. If I yank the transmission out of a car, it's not a running car anymore. So for me to say, oh, this is a working vehicle, when I just yanked out the transmission, is clearly false. And yet you have these people trying to do this with relationships, yanking out the very parts that do work and trying to insert parts that don't, and then trying to claim that, oh, this is a working relationship, this is a relationship. No, it's not. It's not. And this doesn't work because this is not a relationship. This is something else entirely. Is it working for you? I mean, I don't know what that means, working. Is it giving you some kind of purpose? Is it giving you fulfillment? Is it maximizing your well-being? Maybe you think it is, but it ain't. But if this is what you want, fine, go ahead and pursue that. But stop gaslighting yourself and others. Stop trying to gaslight others and yourself into believing that you are actually in something meaningful, something that is a relationship. You ain't. So trying to convince me that your degen, situationship, polycule, polyamorous, whatever this is, works for you. Great. But it's not a relationship. Anyway, there you go. There you go. Well, let me know what you think in the comments. Is this a relationship, or is it just something else entirely? And whatever, this works. No, it doesn't work. Not as a relationship. It's just some kind of weird, friends with benefits roommate scenario where a pathetic loser dude is letting himself be constantly disrespected, and he is the one, he's settling for far, far less than he could get. But then again, this is what he's allowing. He's allowing it. He's subsidizing it. He's enabling it, so he is getting what he deserves. But let me know what you think in the comments of this kind of arrangement. And please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. It's the only way that YouTube is going to let you know that I post new videos, because they love this degen crap, and they don't want to promote anybody who's against it or tells you the truth about it. And leave a comment. I've heard it's good for the algorithm. And if you'd like to support my continued telling of the raw or pilled truth, consider making a donation. You will find various donation methodologies within the description. And on that note, I am out of here. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care.